Hi everyone! Welcome to Monica's Singapore Kitchen. Today I'll be making Char Siew puffs, which is the Chinese roast pork pastry puffs. These puffs are extremely flaky on the outside with aromatic flavorful barbecue pork filling inside, making them a beloved iconic dim sum staple. Come along with me to see how these puffs are made. First, let's make the filling. The filling consists of 180 grams of big onions, which I have sliced into half cm cubes. We also need 3 cloves of garlic. I have also minced these garlics. Okay, so we also need 600 grams Chinese BBQ pork. I've diced it into half cm cubes. The replacement for barbecue pork, you can use chicken barbecue, vegetarian char siu. So these two are very good substitutes. We also need toasted sesame seeds. The sauce consists of half cup char siu sauce. You can buy it from the supermarket. 1 tablespoon of soya sauce, 1 tablespoon of white sugar, and 150 milliliters of water. So we need to mix all these ingredients thoroughly. Let's put this aside. We also need to make cornstarch slurry, which consists of 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and 3 tablespoons of water. Stir thoroughly. Heat up 1.5 tablespoons of oil. Put in our minced garlic. Stir fry the minced garlic for about 1 minute. So at the end of 1 minute, you'll see a little bit of browning at the edges of these garlic pieces. So that's the time for us to add in our diced onions. Stir frying the onions will bring out the aroma and sweetness of the onions. So we need to stir fry it for about 2 minutes before we add our barbecue pork. Pour in the pork together with the lovely sauce. Stir fry for about 1 minute. Our barbecue pork is already cooked, so stir frying it for 1 minute is mainly to mix all these ingredients well. So at this point, we are going to pour in our sauce. So we're going to cover it and stew it for 4 minutes. So 4 minutes later, you can see that our filling is a little bit more dry. So we're going to add toasted sesame seeds, which will impart a nutty flavor and an irresistible aroma to our puffs. So at this point, we can also pour in our cornstarch slurry. This cornstarch slurry is used to make and thicken our filling, to make it more viscous and full-bodied. When it is cooled, it becomes more cohesive, which makes it much easier to wrap later. So the cornstarch slurry should be added at the end. Okay, so it looks something like that. So it's very sticky, which is what we want to achieve. So at this point, we are going to pour it into a container and we are going to leave it to cool for about maybe half an hour or so. Now let's make our pastry dough, which consists of oil dough and water dough. For the oil dough, we need 200 grams of plain flour and 100 grams of lard. Replacement for lard can be vegetable shortening or unsalted butter. Mix these two ingredients together thoroughly and then form it into a disc. Put this disc into a Ziploc bag and then put it in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes to firm it up. For the water dough, we need 300 grams of plain flour, 20 grams of sugar, 60 grams of lard. You can replace with vegetable shortening or unsalted butter. 150 grams of cold water to be added a little bit at a time, just to gauge so that we can get a soft pliable dough. So add a little bit at a time and then stir it. So all in all, you need about 150 milliliters of water. So knead it until smooth. It take about 5 minutes or so. Okay, so after 5 minutes, it should look like that, very smooth, and the bowl comes out clean. So take out the water dough from the bowl and gently roll it into a uniform log. So you roll and stretch until you get about, I would say, about 15 inches length. And then you cut it into 16 equal pieces. And remember to cover your dough pieces with a piece of cling wrap to prevent them from drying. Now we come back to our the oil dough, which has been resting in the fridge for about 15 minutes. It is a lot more firm now, so it's easier to work with. So also cut it into 16 pieces. So take one piece of the oil dough and roll it into a small sphere. Put it aside. Repeat. Roll it into a small sphere and put it aside. Do the same for all the other pieces until you reach the last sphere. So remember to cover our oil dough spheres with cling wrap to prevent it from drying. So now we have two collections, the water dough collection and the oil dough collection. So take one piece of the dough from the water dough collection and then roll it into a sphere and then press it into a disc of about 8 cm in diameter. Then wrap the oil dough using the water dough. So pinch all the edges together. Okay, so something like this, pinch it together and then shape it into a sphere. Yep, like this. Put it aside. So do the same for all the other pairs until you reach the last sphere. Remember to cover all the spheres with cling wrap. Then take the first sphere, dust the surface, the dough, as well as the rolling pin with a little bit of flour. Then you flatten the surface, the dough, into a disc, and then use your rolling pin from center, roll down, from center, roll up. Center down, center up. The purpose is to distribute the oil dough evenly within the water dough. Then you're going to roll it up as though you're rolling a Swiss roll. Okay, turn it 90 degrees. Press 2/3 of this roll into a flat piece. We just want to form a preliminary square shape, which we're going to use afterwards. So roll it up like that, so it looks like a square piece of dough. So put it aside. Do the same for all the other pieces until you reach the last piece. So this is my last piece. Okay. Then we go back to the first piece and we are going to gently press it until it forms a small square. Then what we're going to do is to broaden the square using a rolling pin. So you're going to roll it until it forms about approximately 12 cm by 12 cm square. Okay. Right, so we're going to take 1 tablespoon of the filling and put it somewhere near the center third of the square. Then fold it and gently press the edge to prevent the juice from coming out during the baking process. So gently but firmly press the two ends of our puffs. Okay. Then transfer this into a baking tray lined with baking paper. So we're going to do one more piece, one more time. So take one piece, press it into a small square, and then use a rolling pin to broaden the square until the square is about 12 cm by 12 cm in size. Something like this. And take 1 tablespoon of our filling and place it somewhere near the middle third of our square. Then fold it down to cover our filling. Slightly pinch the edge, press the edge in, and then fold it one more time like that, and then gently but firmly seal the two ends of our puff. Then transfer it to a baking tray lined with baking paper. Do the same for all the other pieces until you reach the last piece. Okay, something like this. Then we proceed to the next step. We are going to brush each puff with our beaten egg. Yeah, so it's the egg wash. So brush all over the top side, the side, as well as the ends. Sprinkle with toasted sesame seeds. Every piece. It sticks pretty well because of the egg wash. Then put it in a preheated oven in the middle rack without any fan at 200 degrees Celsius for 12 minutes and 180 degrees Celsius for 15 minutes. Meantime, while our puffs are baking, we are going to prepare the glaze, which consists of 1 teaspoon of honey and 1 teaspoon of water. Mix these two ingredients well. So after 27 minutes in the oven, take our puffs out and then glaze it with our honey glaze, every one of them. Okay, until you reach the last piece. Put it back into the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for 3 minutes. Do not put it longer than 3 minutes because the sweet honey will burn. So watch carefully within the 3 minutes. So after 3 minutes, our buns are ready. They are glossy, golden brown, and smells so good. Cool the puffs slightly before consumption. Char Siew puffs are best served warm or at room temperature. These puffs are usually served with Chinese tea at dim sum restaurants. Baked Char Siew puffs can be refrigerated for up to 3 days or frozen. Reheat them in a 180 degrees Celsius oven or toaster oven for 10 minutes until the pastry is crispy and flaky. Let's take one and have a look inside. Can you see that the crust literally shatters? If you look closely, you will see many crispy individual layers. The filling is sweet and savory at the same time, meaty and juicy. Perfect balance of flavor. Do give this recipe a try when you have time. It can be very therapeutic. Thanks for stopping by, and as always, happy cooking!